Good morning all. This video session cover few topics from chapter 3 Internet application from module 3 Database Management System subject. In this slide we are discussing about middle tier. The middle tier application were standalone program written in general purpose language such as C, C++ and Perl. The override includes starting the application every time it is invoked and switching process between the web server and the application. Therefore, such interaction do not scale to large number of concurrent users. This leads to the development of the application server, which provides runtime environment for several technologies that can be used to program middle tier application component such as CGI, servlet and Java server page. The CGI Common Gateway Interface is a protocol that is used to transmit agreement from HTML form to application program running at the middle tier. The technologies for writing application logic at the middle tier are Java Servlet, Java Server Page. The another important functionality is the maintenance of state in the middle tier components of application, such as client component goes through a series of steps to complete a transaction. For example, the purchase of market items or reservation of flight. In this slide, we are explaining about the first middle tier, that is Common Gateway Interface. The Common Gateway Interface connects HTML form with application program. It is a protocol that defines how argument forms are passed to the program at the server side. Means how the parameters are passed from the program to the server. Program that communicates with the web server via Common Gateway Interface are often called Common Gateway Interface script, since many such application programs are written in the scripting language such like Perl. Let us see an example, the program that interface with HTML from via a CGI, the simple web page which contains a form where user can fill in the name of the author. Here you can see HTML code and here you can see Perl code. When the HTML code button has been submitted, the parameter which has been passed to the CGI which has been made use of a Perl language. In detail we will see. Here use an HTML tag, head title, and the title is given as database bookstore, and within the form tag we have made an action as findbook.cgi. The findbook.cgi is a file name of CGI code which has been written using a Perl language, and method has been used as post method. When we make any method as a post, the whatever the values are passed from the HTML page has been encoded in an HTTP body, means the values have been secured. After the in a form tag, then we are specifying the type. Here the type of the author name, we need to, the type of the author name is a label, and using an input tag, type is equal to text. One text field has been created and the name of the text field is given as author name with help of name attribute, and the maximum size of the text field is given as 30, size of the 30, and the length is given as 50. This is the input, one input type and one input text field has been created and labeled with the type and author name. There is another input type which is called as button. Type is specified as a but submit, so the button has been created, and the label for the button is given as send it with the help of a value. The another input tag has been used, reset type means nothing but the button has been created as for the reset, and the value label is given for the button is clear form. When I click a reset button, the whatever the value has been entered in the text field which has been cleared out. Now once we enter in the text field the value as welcome. When I click a submit button, then the value has been passed from HTML page to the F file with the help of a form tag, that is the action is given as find book CGI. The control will be sent from client tier to the middle tier. The name of the middle tier file name is given as findbook.cgi. Now we will see under CGI. Here we are using data in as an object of new CJ class, and the header has been given to data in. Now what the data in will do, it is going to take a param. Param is an keyword where the method name where it is going to read the parameter value which has been passed by the HTML code. It takes a one argument of type string, that is the name of the parameter. The name of the parameter is given in the HTML file is author name. So the same parameter name has to be passed in the param tag, that is author name. Now whatever the value I entered in the text field, that value has been took with the help of an parameter name called author name and stored in the field called variable called author name. Here author name is a variable, dollar followed by name we indicated, it is an author name. Then we need to print the message. To print the message we are using a print function. We can, it is an optional, either you can make use of an HTML tag or not. Just we can say print double quote argument passing test, that is an optional. Then to print the result we are making use of a print. The label is called author name colon, whatever the double within a double quote written it will print as it is, and followed by the variable dollar author name is a variable which is holding the actual value passed by the HTML page. Then we are going to display message as author name colon welcome. This is how the Perl code has been written, and this is how the HTML code has been written. How we are making a communication between client tier to the middle tier. The client tier will be make use of an HTML code, and the middle tier is going to perform actual operation. This is a simple code which is used to display an author name via an HTML form to a CGI. In this slide, we are discussing about servlet, which is again used in the middle tier in order to process the or perform the operation. The Java servlet are piece of Java code that run on middle tier in either web server or application server. The servlet are truly platform independent. Since servlet are Java program, they are very versatile. For example, servlet can build web page, access database, and maintain state. Servlet have access to all Java APIs, including JDBC API. All servlet must implement servlet interface. In most cases, servlet extend the specific HTTP servlet class for the server that communicate with client via HTTP. The HTTP servlet class provides methods such as doGet method and doPost method to receive the argument from HTML form, and it sends its output back to the client via HTTP. Servlet that communicates through another protocol such as FTP need to extend the class generic servlet. Servlets are compiled Java class executed and maintained by the servlet container. The servlet container manages the lifespan of individual servlet by creating and destroying them. Servlet can respond to any type of request, but they are commonly used to extend the application hosted by the web server. For such application, there is useful library of HTTP specific servlet class. Servlet usually handle requests from HTML form and maintain state between the client and the server. The HTTP sends back the status line, header and blank line and the context. Thus, this is a simple example which using the servlet program to read the parameter from the client and display the message welcome. There are two files, one is a servlet code, another is HTML code. The servlet code file name is given as demo serv.java, where HTML file name is given as login.html. So login.html file contain one parameter, one text field, that is enter your name. Okay, and one input type button has been created, and the form tag, the action is given as demo serv.java. Now whatever the values we have entered in the text field, after clicking the submit button, the value will be passed from HTML page to the servlet page of the specific file name, and method is used as a get. Now the servlet has to make use of the value passed by the client and it has to be display it. For that we are using a servlet code. Here public class, the name of the servlet is given, class name is given as demo server, and extend the HTTP servlet. You can make use of an HTTP servlet class, or you can make use of a generic servlet class. Here generic servlet class is a super class for all other servlet classes. Now I am extending all the properties of generic servlet HTTP servlet class, and within that we are making use of a method called doGet. So doGet is a method which is an override method of HTTP servlet class. Here doGet takes the two arguments. One is HTTP servlet request class, HTTP servlet response class, and REQ is an object of HTTP servlet request. The HTTP servlet request is going to take a request from the client, whereas HTTP servlet response is one which is going to give response back to the client. The doGet method is always going to throw an exception such as IO exception and servlet exception. Why this doGet method is going to throw an IO exception means, here I am making use of a print writer class. The print writer is a class which is available in IO packages. If we not specify IO exception, then the code is going to be show an compile time error as well as runtime error. Here now RES is a response object. We are using the method called set content type. The set content type is a method belonging to the HTTP servlet response class. The main job of set content type is used to display the content on the browser either in the form of text or in the form of HTML. We need to specify what type of the content has to be displayed on the browser. Similarly, in PHP, we will make use of a document type. Here we are making use of a set content type. Then getWriter is a method which is belonging to the class called HTTP servlet response. The job of the getWriter method is used to write the content on the browser or display the content on the browser. The getWriter method returns the value to the printWriter class, where printWriter is a class belonging to the package called IO, and the printWriter class is going to throw an exception called as IO exception. Then I need to read a parameter value which has been passed by the user or which has been passed by the client through an HTML page. In order to read the parameter value, we will make use of getParameter method, where getParameter is a method belonging to the class called HTTP servlet request. The getParameter method takes the value from the client. The getParameter method have one argument of type string, that is name of the parameter or name of the text field. In an HTML code, we will see the name of the text field for is name. Then same parameter name has to be passed as an argument to the getParameter method. And the get parameter method returns the value available in the text field to the variable. Get parameter method always return the value in the form of string. Even though if we enter the value as a 10 in the input text field, the get parameter method, it returns the string as a 10, not a number. Then I want to print result on a web browser. To print a result on the web browser, I will make use of a println method. The println is a method belonging to the class called printWriter. So with the help of a printWriter object, I am calling println method. And within a double quote, I am writing welcome. It will display as it is. Then I am appending the result. That is, the result has been took from the get parameter method, the value which has been entered by the client, and that message is going to be displayed. And at the end, I am closing the printWriter class. Suppose in a text field, the name is entered as Ajay. Then we'll get the output as welcome Ajay. This is a simple code to read the parameter from the client with the help of an HTML and servlet code. In this slide, we are discussing about JSP called as Java Server Page, which can be used at middle tier application in order to process the data which has been received from the client tier. JSP interchange the role of output and application logic. Java server page are written in HTML with servlet-like code embedded in special HTML tags. Thus, in comparison to servlet, Java server page are better suited to quickly building interface that have some logic inside, whereas whereas servlet are better suited for complex application logic. The middle tier handles Java server page in a very simple way. They are usually compiled into the servlet, which is then handled by the servlet container analogs to the other servlet. This is a simple JSP program to read first name and last name from the client tier. Here the client tier has been designed by using an HTML code. The file name of the HTML code is given as main.html. The HTML tag body, then we have used a form tag, and action is equal to main.jsp. The main.jsp is a JSP file. You can see here main.jsp. Then method is given as get, and the one label is given as first name and followed by input type. Type is equal to text, means here we are creating a one text field which has been prefixed with the first name, and the name of the text field is given as first name, and we are breaking the page. Then last name is another label, and created the text field with the help of an input tag specifying the type is equal to text, and the name of the text field is given as last name, and another input type has been used to create the button, and the value label is assigned to the button is called submit. Here the simple HTML page is being designed with two labels. One is first name with text field, last name with text field, and one button. Now whatever the values I entered in the first text field and second text field, after clicking the submit button, the value from the client tag will be moved to the middle tag with the help of the form tag, with the form tag action, with the help of form tag. Then both the values are passed to the main.jsp. Now the Java server page JSP code has to read the parameter value which has been passed by the client. In order to read the parameter value from the client, the JSP make use of a get parameter method. The get parameter is a method belonging to the class called HTTP request, where a request is an object of HTTP servlet request. So With the help of a request object, I am calling the get parameter method, which takes the one argument, that is the name of the parameter of type string. The first we are displaying the message as first name. The first name, the name of the parameter is first name, so I am passing the same parameter name. Now what are the values as entered in a first name, that will be taken, and here they are making use of an expression tag, that is tag percentage is equal to, this is going to evaluate the result. Now whatever the result has been came, it is going to just display here. This tag is called as an expression tag. Next, and I need to read a second last name or the second text field, that is the last name. Then I am again making use of an expression tag, that is tag percentage is equal to request is an object of HTTP servlet request class. Then I am making use of a get parameter method. The get parameter is the method belongs to the HTTP servlet request class. So I am using the attribute name parameter name called as last name. Here I am printing the first name and last name. This is a simple code by using a JSP with the help of an HTML via JSP. In this slide, we are discussing about maintaining state at the middle tier. At the middle tier, there are several choices as to where we maintain a state. The state should be stored at the bottom tier in the database server. The state supervises crash of the system, but the database access is required to query or update the state. A potential performance bottleneck. And second, an alternative is to store state in main memory at the middle tier. The drawback are that this information is violate and that it might take up a lot of main memory. The state can also be stored in local files at the middle tier as compromise between the first two approaches. The thumb rules is to use state maintenance at the middle tier or database tier only for the data that needs to persist over many different user sessions. Example of such data are past customer order, clickstream data recording, user movement through a website, or other permanent choice that the user makes, such a decision about personalized site layout, types of message the user is willing to receive, and so on. As this example illustrates, the state information is often centered around users who interact with the website. The main aim of middle tier is used to keep the session information about the web page depending upon the customer interest. As already discussed about the customer interest on the e-commerce is that when the customer is going to order or buy any item, the customer need to keep his past history of the data. That is the main use of maintaining the state at middle tier. Simple example, I can say that in a 2 months, whatever the product I have purchased, I want to see all those information. For that, we'll make use of a middle tier. That is the job of maintaining the state at middle tier. Here we are explaining about maintaining a state at the presentation tier by making use of a cookies. The cookie is a small piece of information or a browser history which is going to keep information. The state can be stored at the presentation tier and passed to the middle tier with every HTTP request. We essentially work around the statelessness of the HTTP protocol by sending additional information with every request. Such information is called a cookie. Cookie is a collections of pairs that can be manipulated at the presentation and middle tier. Cookies are easy to use in Java Servlet or Java Server page and provide simple way to make non-essential data persistent at the client. The disadvantage of using cookie is the cookie are often perceived as being invasive and many users disables cookie in their web browser. The browser allows user to prevent cookies from being saved on their machine. The data in the cookie is currently limited to 4 KB, but for most applications this is not a bad limit. Cookies can be used to store information such as user shopping information, logging information, and other non-permanent choice made in the current session. In a servlet cookie API, the cookie is stored in a small text file at the client and contain name and value pair where both name and values are string. We can create a new cookie through a Java cookie class in the middle tier application by using a Java servlet code. To create a cookie, we'll make use of a cookie class constructor with passing the name and value to the cookie class constructor. And there are few methods which are available in a cookie class are setDomain, setSecure, setMaxAge are the methods which are belonging to the cookie class. When you use setDomain method, the setDomain is a method which is going to specify the website that will receive the cookie. The default value for this attribute is the domain that created the cookie. Next, set secure. If the flag is true, then cookie is sent only if you are using secure version of HTTP protocol such as SSL. Set max size and get max size. The max size attribute determines the lifetime of cookie in a second. If the value of max age is less than or equal to 0, the cookie is deleted when the browser is closed. Next method of cookie class is getName and setName. This function allow us to name the cookie. The next method is setValue and getValue. The setValue and getValue functions allows use to set and read the values of the cookie. These are the different methods which are available in Java Servlet cookie class.